So at the very beginning of the class, I wish that all of you can enjoy this class. This is a very good morning. This is a very sunny morning. I'm sitting inside the computer lab of our college and I can see the outside. Though there is no rain, but still there is a calm atmosphere. I can just see the trees outside the computer lab. So I feel the calmness in my mind, and I just request all of you to relax yourselves, to leave everything else aside and just concentrate on our class. I may be asking some questions and you can answer the questions without thinking about whether it is right or wrong, whether it is what I expect from you. You can answer the questions on the basis of your life experiences, or the basis of your concepts, on the basis of your outlook. And if I have to leave the answer to a particular direction for the sake of conveying some ideas included in this paper, I will do that. That does not mean that your answer is wrong. That does not mean that your answer is a fault or a faulty answer. So I'll be just modifying your answer so that to tell you something included in our syllabus in this paper, language across curriculum. Language, a beautiful word, an attractive word, and it has got lots of connotations. It has got lots of interpretations. Language, something which we cannot avoid or which we cannot throw away from our life. Language can be considered as one of the most primary needs of man. And as you know, language is a part of educational activities. Language teaching, learning is an inevitable part of any level of education. I feel that none of you would disagree with this. I disagree with my opinion, yes. So I'm just going to present a PowerPoint presentation. I think you can able to see, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think you are able to see, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So this is a
Yes.
yes. This is a
Yes, sir.
PowerPoint which I created and later published on slideshow. I will be sending you the link of this PowerPoint presentation later after the class. So before entering language across curriculum, I may ask you a question. I told you that language learning or language teaching learning is an inevitable part of our educational system. If you think about educational systems all over the world, you can see this phenomenon. You go to Europe, you can see language teaching learning. You go to Africa, you can see language teaching learning. If you go to Gulf countries, you can see language teaching learning. And during your childhood days, you start learning different languages from the very beginning of your education. During my childhood days, actually, we started learning our mother tongue from the first standard. Then we started learning English and Hindi when we were promoted to fifth standard. But nowadays, children start learning different languages. Maybe Hindi, maybe mother tongue, everything from the very beginning of their education. I may ask you a question. What was your language learning process? What was the nature of your language learning process in the case of English language or any other language? Whether you were being taught a language in a separate language classroom or whether you were learning a language throughout the schoolhouse, I mean, whether you were learning a language in other subject classrooms too. This is my question, a very simple question. Look at your life experience. Just go back. Just go back to your school days. And just go back to your beautiful school days. Just go back to your glorious school days. Just go back to your everlasting school days and think about your language learning. Whether you were learning English language only in an exclusively arranged English classroom or in all other subject classrooms. Whether you were learning Hindi in an exclusively created Hindi classroom or in all other subject classrooms. Especially you have to think about English language. So I may ask this question to Fatima. Fatima, just tell me about your language learning, English language learning during your school days. Whether it was only in an exclusively created English classroom, only in a separately created English classroom, or in all the subject classrooms. Just tell me. Yes, Fatima, are you there?
Yes, I am a Malayalam medium student. I was a Malayalam medium student,
Yes.
and uh, I learned the
Yes, you learned English language. Where?
I was a Malayalam medium student, sir,
Yes, you
till
were
10th.
you were a
After
Malayalam.
that,
So if
I
you learned English language, my question is whether you learned English language in a separately created, arranged English classroom, or whether you were learning English language in all other subject classrooms. This is my question. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Whether,
May you repeat the question?
my question is whether you were learning English. Oh, take the example of Malayalam. Whether you were learning Malayalam language only in a Malayalam language classroom or in all other subject classrooms.
വായിച്ചു.
Only in Malayalam classroom.
Only in Malayalam classroom. Yes, you were not learning Malayalam language in other classrooms. I think this may be the case. This may be in the case of English
വായിച്ചു.
language also. Yes, you were learning English language only in your English class,
English classroom.
not in other subject classrooms. Thank you, Fatima. You can just mute yourselves, Fatima. Yes. Now my question is going to Ashwati Yadav. Please.
Yes, sir.
There are two Ashwadis. So this is Ashwati Yadav. Another
Yes,
Ashwati.
sir.
Just call full name.
Actually, I studied in English Malayalam medium, so English was taught as a language like sorry,
Yes.
subject like maths, science, separate.
So you were not learning English language in your mathematics classroom. You were not learning English language in your physics classroom. You were not learning English language in your chemistry classrooms. But you were learning English language only in the English.
English classrooms. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ashwati.
Thank you, sir.
Now I may call another one. I may just call Afra. Afra, what was your experience? Whether you were learning English language only in your English classroom or in other subject classrooms as well? Tell me, Afra.
Yes, I was a student in CBSE school, so I studied English language in almost all subjects except other languages like Hindi, Malayalam, like that. Every subject is only taught by teachers in English.
Yeah.
Then
So you,
talking about other languages, Hindi and all, it was only
yes.
taught in that class. It's in that class
Yeah.
only, but
So Afra told that she was learning English language in all the classes, not only in the English classroom, but also in other subjects classroom too. Then I may ask you, Afra, whether the mathematics teacher was using an effective English language, whether the chemistry teacher too was using an effective English language, whether the biology teacher too was using an effective English language. Tell me.
yes, everyone speaks in good language,
Yeah.
and if any doubts come, they will explain in Malayalam too.
That's my question, Afra. That's my question. Because they were using some ready-made languages, but they were not able to explain what they were teaching in their own language. That's my question. Yes? Yes?
They use English language because it's compulsory in our classroom that teachers should speak in English, but only sometimes, not every time. Mostly they use English language itself.
Yes, that is when you ask some questions to them for clarifying your doubts. I think now then they might be using Malayalam. Yes,
Yes, sir.
that shows that the teachers themselves were not able to explain what they were teaching in their own words. when they teach something, then they can use or they could use English language because they might have prepared in the previous day for teaching that particular subject by using some ready-made words. And when they teach something in those ready-made words, actually they were using some highly some language which we can see in the textbooks. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's good. And my dear students, this is what I wanted to say. Language teaching, maybe sometimes we may be learning in an English medium school, but still most of the subject teachers may not be able to use an effective English language just like the language teachers use. Have you ever thought about learning an effective English language not only in your English classroom, but also in the mathematics classroom, but also in the chemistry classroom, but also in the biology classroom, but also in the social science classroom? Have you ever thought? I mean, effective English language. See, sometimes, and this is an example given by an expert when he was introducing or he was talking about the importance of including language across curriculum in the B.Ed curriculum. He just used this example. A mathematics teacher was teaching something inside the classroom, and she asked a question. A branch of tree, 3 birds, 2 flew away, how many remaining? Pieces of sentences. A branch of tree, 3 birds, a branch of tree, 3 birds sitting, 2 flew away, then how many remaining? Killing the language. This is what is happening even in English medium schools. Most of the English medium schools, I admit there may be some exceptions, okay? Exceptional cases may be there. But in most of the English medium schools in our state, this is what is happening there. Most of the teachers are killing the language. They just use English language because they are compelled to use that language as they are working in an English medium school. So my question is there. Whether you have ever thought about learning an effective English language in our mathematics classroom, in our social science classroom, in our biology classroom, in our chemistry classroom, in our geography classroom, in our botany classroom? Yes, tell me.
No.
No, yes. And take the case of our mother tongue. Take the case of our mother tongue. We are educated. We have got education for more than 15 years. And I ask you whether you can claim that you are able to make use of an effective Malayalam language for delivering a speech, for speaking. Whether you can make use of a beautiful Malayalam language This is a question. What will be your answer? Maybe some exception.
I doubt that as well.
Yes, again, that's a problem. Okay, because we were teaching Malayalam language in a separate Malayalam classroom by teaching some grammar, Vyagaranam, some grammar. But if the mathematics teacher comes, or if the physics teacher comes, or if the chemistry teacher comes, for example, I may translate what I told. ഒരു മരക്കമ്പ് മൂന്ന് പക്ഷികൾ രണ്ടെണ്ണം പാറിപ്പോയി ബാക്കി എത്ര? This may be the questions asked by some other subject teachers. So here comes a new strategy, a new approach for teaching a language, and that is called language across curriculum. Can anyone tell me the definition? Because we have discussed something here. As a conclusion of this discussion, can anyone give me the definition of language across curriculum?
I think it is effective use of language across curriculum, across subjects.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, you're right, Demit. So it's the concept of teaching a true language, teaching an effective language, teaching a meaningful language, not only in the English language classroom, but also in all other subject classroom. So teaching a language throughout the school hours. And this concept is known as language across curriculum. You can just look here. Language across curriculum is a modern approach that language learning should be occurred throughout the school hours in language classrooms as well as other subject classrooms. Got it? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see what I show here? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can see.
So language across curriculum is a modern
Yes,
that
sir.
language learning should be occurred throughout the school hours in language classrooms as well as other subject classrooms. Actually, this is not only in the case of English language, but in all the cases. Okay, for example, if the mathematics teacher or if the chemistry teacher or if the physics teacher teaching something in the mother tongue, then he or she should be using the effective mother tongue there. Actually, most of us are not able to communicate effectively even in our mother tongue because most of the subject teachers are not using the correct language, not using the effective mother tongue there. So we have included language across curriculum as something related to English language in our curriculum because we did so because most of the students actually, if I tell, even the BEd teachers are not able to communicate well in English language. And we are going to be teachers, so we should think about our language. Though I will be discussing language across curriculum as something related to English language, you should think about your mother tongue too. If you're a Hindi teacher, you should think about your Hindi language. If you are going to teach in a Malayalam medium school, then even if you are not a Malayalam teacher, you should be able to make use of a better Malayalam, an effective Malayalam language in your classroom. So this is language across curriculum. In the past, we were teaching a language or English language only for 1 or 2 hours a day in a separately created English language classroom by using some artificial circumstances. some artificial situations. But language across curriculum is the latest trend in language teaching process, which tells that a language should be taught in the language classroom as well as other subject classroom. That means it should be taught throughout the school hours by making use of some contextual situations, some life-oriented situations, some real-life situations. So, got the idea? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. And here you should underline this. You should underline this. Not teaching language. Okay. Teaching language means sometimes not using language, because in English medium schools actually no teacher will be using Malayalam or mother tongue. But
Sir, how it is possible, sir?
how it is possible means all other teachers should use effective language. I mean, see, if you listen to an effective English language from your English teacher, it will be only for 1 hour. Yes. Then after that, you will be going to your mathematics classroom, your physics classroom, your chemistry classroom, your biology classroom, your social classroom. And you are listening to effective English language only in your English classroom, and you are for 1 hour, and you are listening to some bad English language, some incorrect English language, some ineffective English language for more than 3 hours. Then what will be influencing you? The language of the English language teacher or the language of other subject teachers? You're listening to an incorrect English language or to an incorrect Malayalam language for 3 hours or 4 hours, while you are listening to an effective English language only for 1 hour. Then whether it is possible or not, that is another matter for some other discussion. But this is the concept. Yes, this is the concept. Language across curriculum. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I think you are able to follow me. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. If you feel any sort of difficulty in following me, then just ask me. Just ask me to repeat again. Just ask me to make use of a little more simple language. So that's good. You have got the definition. You should scribble this definition in your mind. Now you should not be requiring to look at your notebook for defining this term, language across curriculum. Look at the term itself, language across curriculum. That means teaching the language by using different curricular activities. Language across curriculum, that is throughout the school hours, not only in language classroom, but by making use of the processes in different subject classrooms. Okay, so let me just move to another topic related to this one. We have to think about the need and significance of LAC. Need and significance of language across curriculum.
I have a small doubt that what do you mean by effective language use or effective language? What does that mean?
Effective language means see, if you have got some words, if you have got some words in a language, sometimes you may be able to communicate to other person. Even without using the correct grammar, even without using the correct usage, even without using the complete sentences. And the matter is that the listener should guess what you are telling. Yes,
Right.
For example, when I was a student of Farouk College, sometimes some students would say, I am an examination tomorrow.
Yes.
Actually, they should be told, I have an examination tomorrow. If you're telling something with if you're telling something with an extreme gladness, extreme happiness, extreme joy, you should be able to convey that joy into the heart of the listener. And if you want to do that, then you should make use of the correct language or the effective language.
Okay.
Got it, Demit?
Yeah.
See, sometimes if you listen to some people, you will be desiring to go on listening to such people because of their use of language and such things.
True.
And if you're going to outside the country, you cannot communicate by making use of pieces of sentences. You should be able to speak with an effective language. The mathematics teacher asked a question. A branch of three birds, two flew away, how many remaining? He or she might have used a beautiful language, like there was a very beautiful garden. In that garden, there were lots of trees. Three birds came and sat on a very beautiful tree in that garden. Then a naughty boy came there and threw a stone to those birds. At this time, two birds went away. So, my dear children, how many birds are remaining there now? This is an effective usage of language.
Mm-hmm.
But the subject teachers always try to convey some content. Their intention is to make the people, to make the students eat whatever content they give. And they do not think about the interest of the students. They do not think about the linguistic development of the students. They do not think about the communication skill of the students. Their intention is result by making the students by hearting some capsules they give inside the classroom. Got it, Demit? Yes.
Yeah.
So this tells that language across curriculum tells that if you want to make your students communicate well in a particular language, if you want to make your students effective users of a particular language, if you want to make your students effective communicators in a particular language, in school classrooms, all the subject teachers should make use of effective language because children are spending most of their time before teachers. Got it? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
So now we have to think about the need and significance of language across curriculum. Let me ask you, actually there were different strategies for teaching languages. There has been this language teaching process for decades, for centuries. Then why do we think about a new strategy? When do we think about a change? Yes, when do we think about a change? Nitin, can you tell me? Yes, Nitin Jishnu. Are you there, Nitin? Nitin?
Yes, sir. Sir, question once more.
Nitin, we have been teaching languages for decades or centuries.
Okay, sir.
And we have been using some methods, some strategies, and as we told, we were teaching an effective language only in an exclusive language classroom. And nowadays we are thinking about a change. That means language across curriculum. We tell that this is not right. We are teaching a language only in a language classroom. We are teaching a useful language or effective language only in an English classroom or only in a language classroom. So this is not right. We have to use some other strategy. So we should teach a language in other subject classrooms too. Why? Why do we think so? We think for a new thing when we feel that the existing strategy is not
It's not.
effective, it is not useful. Okay.
Yes, sir.
How can we think? How can we think that the existing strategy is not good? That means educated community. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we have to look at the educated community. We have to look at the teachers. We have to look at the computer engineers. We have to look at the doctors. We have to look at different academic community or educated community, whether we need a change, whether we need something called language across curriculum. So need and significance of language across curriculum. I may show you some points. Okay, why we are thinking about a new strategy called language across curriculum. I may show you some point. Okay. Yes, I think you're seeing. Okay, you can see. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So looking at
Yes, sir.
yes, well, thank you very much. Looking at the present status of our academic community, we can't help mentioning that we are badly in need of a better approach for foreign language teaching. I told language across curriculum is actually language across curriculum is not an approach for related to foreign language, but in our syllabus it is related to English language. So I use foreign language teaching. Okay. So looking at the present status of our academic community, you look at the research scholars, you look at the teachers, you look at the academicians, you look at the leaders, then we will see some drawbacks in the case of English language. We will see some demerits in the case of English language. So I may just show you the points. Yes, look here. In the case of students, first we can look at the students. Okay. First we can think about the students. What is the status of the students in the case of foreign language? The first point is most of the students are not able to use the foreign language, I mean English language, even after completing graduation as well as post-graduation with higher grades. See, we learn even if we are getting education in an English, in a Malayalam medium school, we start learning English language from third or fourth standard, or fifth, at least from fifth standard, and we complete our SSLC. That means 5 years. Then we complete our plus 2, 5 plus 2, 7. Then we complete our degree. That means 10. Then if PG, then 12. So that shows that even after learning English language for more than 10 years, most of us are not able to use the language. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Actually, this is something shame. Yes. We tell that we are educated people, we are students. And see, a person who hasn't got any education, and he or she expressed that a person who has completed degree will be able to speak in English language very well. And if an uneducated friend of you come to you and ask you to write a letter in English language, and if you are not able to do that, then what is the difference between you and your uneducated friend? Yes, I think it's a serious question. Yes.
Yes, of course, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Of course. Yes, sir.
Yes, can be neglected. No. So, and this shows that we are interested to learn that language. Still English language is a nightmare for us. നമുക്കൊരു പേടി സ്വപ്നമാണ്. And here, most of the students are not able to use the foreign language even after completing graduation. That means that the strategy which was being used was not an effective strategy. Yes, okay. Because we are using strategy. We are using an exclusive classroom. We are using some methods. We are allotting 1 or 2 periods for language teaching, language learning. And even after completing or even after learning languages for 1 hour or 2 hours for years and years, if you are not able to communicate in that particular language, it shows that the existing strategy for teaching language is not effective. It is not useful. Yes? Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So let me show you the second point. Assignments become Xerox copies because of the language deficiency. I may ask you, were you writing assignments in English language? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think when you were doing your degree, your teachers would give you some assignments and they would tell you that for each one of you should write the assignment in English language. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then I may ask you, and you should be honest, okay? How many of you how many of you used to write the assignments in your own language? How many of you can claim?
I did, sir.
Yes. Actually,
I wrote all by myself.
I am not able to see you. I'm not able. If it is in classrooms, I can just tell you. I could just tell you, just stand up or just raise your hands. Okay, I feel that most of the students nowadays are writing the assignments just by copying the sentences from the source itself. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
And the problem is like copying from others or others
Yeah. Yes.
Vaishak.
So in Kannur University campus,
were
Shah
not
uses
possible
plagiarism
because
software.
our
That's why we
teachers
cannot
give different
use.
projects to different students.
Yeah. ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ പൊതുവായിട്ട് എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അസൈൻമെന്റുകൾ ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ ഒരു ആക്ച്വലി ഐ ഹാവ് ഗോട്ട് 14 years experience in teaching, and in my experience I might have told you the case of IGNO teachers. When I was giving some introduction, I was valuing the assignments written by IGNO teachers, and they were teachers who had got more than 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience. Then I just started valuing the assignments, and I happened to see that 99% of them were just copying what they saw in their study material. And here, the matter is that actually you have got idea, or we have got idea. We know lots of things about the topic which we have to write, an assignment. But we just copy down because we are not able to write the assignment in our own language. And see, I don't blame you. Some of you might have got some better English language, maybe, and they might have written all the assignments in their own words after referring to some books and journals. Actually, I told you that assignments are not just for the sake for writing something. Assignments are given for improving your explanation skill, your elaboration skill, your linguistic skill, your writing skill, all these things. But nowadays, assignments are, in practical sense, I tell, nowadays assignments are just used for giving a topic and just for copying something written in some other sources and just submitting all the items. And the teachers will be valuing the assignments just by looking whether the content is there. So this is a practice. This is a practice because different studies tell so. Most of the students are writing the assignments, or most of the students are writing the assignments just by copying something from some other sources. And here the students have got ideas. They have some creative ideas. They have got different points and they know how to explain all the things, but they are not able to explain it in English language just because they haven't got a commanding power in English language, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is a fact that we cannot deny. So again, this shows if students are not able to write the assignments in their own words, that means that the existing language teaching strategy is a faulty strategy. We can't help admitting that. Actually, this assignments are introduced by some people as a part of education because not only the intelligence of the students should be evaluated, but there should be different kinds of evaluation. And assignments and projects have become a part of educational system just to check the writing skill of the students, just to check the elaboration skill of the students, just to check the linguistic skills of the students. But nowadays we are not able to check the linguistic skills of the students by looking at the assignments written by them because most of the assignments are not written by themselves. So this is again, this also shows that we are badly in need of a better language teaching strategy. If you want to make your students write their own assignments, you should be able to teach them a better language. You should be able to make them capable of using the language. Otherwise, you should make them write the assignments in mother tongue. See, in my case, I always give the assignments and I tell the students to write the assignments in the language which is comfortable for them. Then you may ask you, then how can we improve our language? And see here, you should not try to improve your language by using a language in examination or assignments, but you should try to improve your language by using some other activities. And only after becoming an expert in that language, you should start writing examination and assignment in that language. That is something important. Okay, so this is a point. Assignments become zero copies. Most of the students are submitting some fake assignments. I mean, without writing the assignments in their own words, not because they haven't got ideas, not because they haven't got knowledge, not because they haven't got the principles, but only because of their language deficiency. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So I may just forward to another point. Most of the research scholars are not able to write their thesis themselves. so that plagiarism goes on being practiced by academic community, mainly on account of the inability in foreign language. See, last year, and now it is changed, okay. Last year, there was an order from last year or before a couple of years. There was an order from UGC, I feel so, that PhD should not be considered for promotion. Now it is again compulsory, okay. If you are entering a professor's post, as an assistant professor's post, during the third promotion, actually PhD is compulsory. The promotion is just like this. You enter the college, after first 6 years, you will get a promotion. Then after 11 years, you will get the second promotion. And after 14 years, you will get the third promotion. And during the time of third promotion, if you have to get promotion, then you should have a PhD. But before a couple of years, UGC published a notification that PhD should not be considered for promotion. Why? Can anyone answer this question? Can you guess?
It may be because the points and the matter they present is not that they have found out. It may be a referral from other books. Their observations matters more.
Yes, because when UGC observed, when UGC verified, it was found that most of the PhD theses were fake. See, before a number of years, I just happened to see a news that a French minister, not an Indian minister, a French minister had been forced to resign from his post just because his PhD research report was something copied from some website. And see, why do we copy? Because we are conducting the studies, we are collecting the data, and we spend 2 or 3 years, or sometimes 4 or 5 years. So why do most of the research scholars write their thesis by copying from some other sources? Or why do they seek the help of some others? You can see some boards, you can see some flexes here and there. If you want to get some assistance from us, we will assist you for writing the thesis. And if you give some 10 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees, people are there for offering you help for writing your thesis. And see, there are some freelance websites such as freelance.com. And you can see that some people will be posting some jobs, or some people are in search of some people who can write their thesis. And see, why is happening so? Again comes the linguistic problem. Actually, we are seeking the help of others, not because we haven't got the idea, not because we haven't got the ability to do the work, or not because we haven't got the ability to write the report, but just because we are not able to write the findings in English language. You look at some people who have completed their school education and +2 education in English medium schools. If you think about them, most of the people maybe they are able to communicate. I mean, they are able to speak in English language. But if you ask them to write something in 100 pages or 20 pages, most of them are not able to do so. So this is another factor behind the uh, introduction of language across curriculum. Okay, this because research scholars are not able to write their thesis. So now and again, you can see, as I told, now we are living in a globalized world, and if you want to study in a foreign country now, it is possible because after the emergence of liberalization and such things, rules and regulations for traveling to another country or for getting education in another country is not very difficult now. Rules are not very strict. I think you know about liberalization. I will be talking about liberalization when I will be talking something in your contemporary Indian education and knowledge and curriculum. So now there are opportunities, but still some students are not able to get admitted in foreign universities because of the deficiency in communicating in the foreign language. If you think about some of your friends, during the school days, maybe some of your friends might not be as brilliant as yourselves or some other students, but they have got admitted in foreign universities, and some more brilliant students are not admitted in foreign universities. Because to get admitted in a foreign university, I mean in an advanced university, okay, you can get admitted in some universities by giving large amount of money, but I tell about universities such as Oxford universities, Cambridge University, and such universities. If you want to get admitted, you should be able to communicate well in English language. Again comes this point, okay, most of the students do struggle. Now there are opportunities, lots of opportunities out there. If you have got some merit, then you can get admitted in foreign universities, in some advanced universities. But still, if you have to get admitted in a well-advanced foreign universities, you should be able to communicate effectively in English language. So some students, some brilliant students, some extraordinary students too are not able to get admitted in foreign universities because of their lack of ability in communicating in English language. We cannot deny this fact. That shows that our existing strategy is 41. Yes, got it?
Sir.
So,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then,
Yes, sir.
yes. Now, the next point is the new career trends are in need of people who are fluent in foreign language. Yes. Actually, in the past, if you did B.Ed, you had only one opportunity, that to become a teacher. But now if you pass B.Ed course, you can be a mentor in a multinational company. You can be a psychologist in a multinational company. You can be an instructor in a foreign company. You can be a person who is attending the call in a call center. So this is what is there. Now you have got lots of career options. Now, if you want to be a teacher in Maldives, you can go there. Lots of people are working there. Still, our student Shambhu from 2017-19 batch. He's from physical science. He's still working there in Maldives, and he has got a wonderful English language. When he was studying here, I was appreciating his English language. And another student from English, Mubarak. Mubarak also is working in Maldives. And one of our students, Anand Matthew, and he had got an amazing English language. and he first got a job in a college in a Gulf country, I think in Oman. Then after that, he was promoted to something like the examination coordinator of a particular university or something like that in Oman. Because he had got a wonderful language. So now there are lots of opportunities. If you're not able to get appointed in an aided school here, sometimes you may be able to get appointed in a foreign university, or you may be appointed in as a mentor. I know one man, Kabir sir. He's an excellent counselor. He is an excellent psychologist. And now he is working as a mentor for different multinational companies. Because, nowadays, people who are working in multinational companies are getting depressed. Because you know that nowadays there are lots of complications. There may be some competitions between companies. Then there may be some expectations from the employees. So sometimes the people who are working in multinational companies are having some psychological problems. So now multinational companies are in search of some mentors, some psychological mentors and motivators. So if you are able to communicate well in English language, even if you are an expert in psychology, you may not be able to get appointed in such companies if you are not able to communicate fluently in English language. And if you, maybe some exceptional cases, you can see some Sundar Pichai of Google, Satya Nadella of Microsoft. But there are some exceptional cases, and most of the people, I think you might have listened to the speeches delivered by Sundar Pichai. He's a wonderful communicator in English language, I feel. Especially in the field of teaching and mentoring, you should be able to communicate fluently in English language. But looking at the present scenario, you will find that large majority of people are not able to get appointed in foreign universities or foreign companies just because they are not able to communicate well in English language. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this is another point.
Yes, sir.
So this shows that a change is important, and this shows the significance of a better language teaching strategy. Now, foreign language is an inevitable factor in handling modern technology. Yes. Can anyone make a comment on this point? Foreign language is an inevitable factor in handling modern technology. Yes. Can any one of you comment on this statement?
So far, it is true that we know foreign language,
Yeah.
especially English.
Related to English only?
Yeah. You can see that most of the tips, most of the demonstrations, nowadays you can see some Malayalam YouTube channels and such things too, but if you have to solve some problems, then you should know how to search on Google by using correct keywords. And most of the demonstrations, most of the technical items are written in English language.
Yes.
See, even if an IT product is manufactured in Spain or in Canada or in any other country, they will be giving you a brochure in their language as well as in English language. And if you are able to make use of English language in a better manner, it is very easy to handle different types of modern technology. And see, even if you're going to be teachers, nowadays we have to teach by making use of different possibilities of modern information technology. That is ICT, information and communication technology. So if you have got a better English language, you can learn PowerPoint yourselves. You can learn video editing yourselves. You can make use of different possibilities of modern technology yourselves. And see, there are smart classrooms in our schools, but large number of teachers are not using the smart facilities in schools because they do not know how to use this one. Actually, we cannot learn using technology only by getting some instructions from some others. If we have to make some modifications, we should try ourselves. When I was a B.Ed teacher, I joined as a B.Ed teacher, I started as a B.Ed teacher, I was not able to create any PowerPoint presentation. Then I just learned how to create PowerPoint presentation by asking some people. After that, I went on searching, I went on experimenting. If I get some question in my mind, I would just enter Google search engine. I just search there, how can I record voice in PowerPoint? Then I will get some instructions. And this is something important. Most of the demonstrations, most of the instructions, most of the teachings of handling modern technology are given in English language. And again, this is something important. And most people, especially teachers, are not able to make use of different technical items, different later information technology related items, just because they are not able to search and find out what they need by using that language. Yes, got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then self-study and referring is less effective without proper language. Or is this self-study? Whether self-study is important in the case of students.
Yes, sir. Self-study is very important. When we go to higher education or even in our degree education, we are not provided sufficient notes, and it's when we just after passing 12th, it's self-exploration. We search for topics not only in our curriculum, what's there in our syllabus, but also we go for other options and other studies. So self-study is very important, and language is also the key to better self-study.
Yes, actually, who is speaking?
So Vrinda.
Vrunda, yes, Vrunda, you're right. You're right. You're exactly right, Vrunda. And see, we will learn something like 4 pillars of education put forth by UNESCO. Has any one of you heard this one? 4 pillars of education.
Yes, sir.
What are the 4 pillars of education? Do you know? We will learn it. Yes, yes. According to UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. According to UNESCO, there are 4 pillars of education. If these 4 pillars are not there in an educational system will not be useful. Education will not be accurate. And these 4 pillars, I will teach you these 4 pillars in your contemporary Indian education paper. The first pillar is learning to know. Learning to know. That means self-study. For example, if you are a physics teacher, will you be able to teach each and every theory to your student? Tell me, any physics? prospective teacher? Tell me. Yes, I think there are physics students here. Yes. No. Yes.
Sir, can you repeat the question, sir?
My question is, if you are a physics teacher, will you be able to teach each and every theory? I mean, all the theories related to a particular concept to your students in your classrooms.
Okay.
Will you teach all the theories? Can you?
Sir, I will try to teach all the theories. Sometimes I will try to give all the concept about that theory.
Yeah. I mean, again, my question is, okay, who is speaking? I'm sorry, I'm not able to realize you because the presentation is there, so I'm not seeing any one of you. Tell me.
Jasbina Ali, sir.
Yes, Jasbina.
Yes.
You can teach some theories included in your textbook, okay?
Yes.
And you may not be able to teach some theories related to the theories included in the textbook. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Then what can you do? So instead of teaching a particular theory, if you teach them the method or the way by which they can learn more theories, I think it will be more useful, okay?
Yeah.
And this is what is learning to know. That means the teacher's duty is not to teach each and everything. And this concept have come from the concept or the principle of Jerome S. Bruner. We will learn about Bruner in second semester. And according to Bruner, teaching is not teaching content, but teaching is teaching to learn. Have you got that? Means,
yeah,
you should teach some basic concept, or you should teach them. When you teach them some theories, you should make them able to learn more such theories by making this theory a basis for learning more theories. അഥവാ നിങ്ങളൊരു തിയറി അവരെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ ആ തിയറി ഒരു അടിസ്ഥാനമാക്കി ഉപയോഗിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് അതുപോലെയുള്ള മറ്റ് തിയറികൾ സ്വന്തമായി അവർക്ക് പഠിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു കഴിവ് നിങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുക്കണം. അതാണ് ബ്രൂണർ പറഞ്ഞത്. ടീച്ചർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബുക്കിലുള്ള കണ്ടന്റ് അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ പഠിപ്പിക്കേണ്ട ആളല്ല, മറിച്ച് ടീച്ചർ പഠിക്കാൻ അവരെ പഠിപ്പിക്കേണ്ട ആളാണ്. അതാണ് യുനെസ്കോ മുന്നോട്ട് വെക്കുന്ന ഒന്നാമത്തെ പില്ലർ പറയുന്ന ആളാണ്. വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കുറെ കണ്ടന്റ് പഠിക്കൽ, ടീച്ചർ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന കണ്ടന്റ് മാത്രം പഠിക്കലല്ല, മറിച്ച് എന്താണ്, ലേണിംഗ് ടു നോ. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് the person who gets education should be able to more theories, more principles, more knowledge, more skills by using what they have already learned. Okay. Yes. Yes. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes, sir.
So for this one, if you look that most of the scientific principles, most of the scientific theories, most of the some psychological theories, majority of some other aspects are written in English language. We cannot deny that. So if you want to make your students learn themselves, they should be able to refer some books written in English language. And there is a yeah.
I think that is the basis of new educational policy 2020. Learn how to learn.
Yeah. Actually, okay, it's like these 4 pillars. Actually, there are 4 pillars: learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, learning to live together. All these pillars are taken from some ideas from different people, and this learning to know is taken from Bruner's concept. Learning to live together is taken from Jittu Krishnamurti's concept. Actually, people are thinking about these 4 learning pillars. Maybe I think it must be included in the latest policy. So that is something important, because nowadays, and again, you should know one thing, that theories and principles are go on modified day by day. There are changes. In the past, changes are there in 50 years or in centuries. But nowadays, it's a fast-growing society. It's a fast-growing world. So a principle may be changed tomorrow. So students should be able to modify their concept, their knowledge. And for modifying their knowledge, they should be able to refer books. And unfortunately or fortunately, I do not know whether I can tell fortunately or unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, most of the things are written in English language. So if you want to make your students learn more and more, you should make them better users of English language. So if you think about the present scenario, if you think about the students of the present world in our country, we will see that most of the students are not able to indulge in extra reading, because we are writing the examinations by buying some guides. Actually, we are not making any extra reading. Before, so 2 weeks before the examination, we will collect some guides and photostat, copies of some notes. Then we will read each and every line. Then we will write the examination and we will pass the examination. But we are not making any reference, because we are not able to interpret what are discussed in some materials written in English language. So self-study is not there in the case of majority of students. So again, this shows actually we have got some, even if we have got some interest in self-study, we are not able to do so because we haven't got a better language. That's a factor. And so these are something in the case of students. So we see these deficiencies, okay? We see these limitations. We see these disadvantages, so these drawbacks in the case of our students. Our students are not able to communicate well in English language. See, nowadays, actually in higher educational institutions, teachers should use English language. But teachers cannot use because students will not be able to follow. Some students will ask the teachers to translate, even in BA English classrooms. Even in BA English classrooms, students ask teachers to translate what they are teaching in English language because they are not able to communicate. Able to communicate means not only speaking but also listening. Communication is listening and speaking, not only speaking. It's listening, speaking, writing, reading. Everything is a part of communication. So students are not able to realize what teachers are telling in English language. Students are not able to write assignments in their own words. And assignment is a part of continuous comprehensive evaluation. We have included assignments and projects just as a part of CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Everything is just for the sake for doing so. There is no accurate evaluation of assignments because the students are writing the assignments by copying. Research scholars are not able to write their thesis in their own words, so we see fake research reports. And see, now UGC has announced that if you have to get points for promotion, you should write articles not in any journal, but only in UGC approved journals. before a couple of years or before 3 years, you might be able to write an article and you might be able to publish your article in any journal which had got an ISSN number. Actually, getting an ISSN number is not very difficult. And UGC made a study, conducted a study on journals, and it was found that 87%, I feel so, 87% of ISSN journals were not keeping any sort of quality. And UGC made a list of standard journals. And UGC notified that points for the promotion will be awarded only if the teachers publish some articles in UGC approved journals. This is the pathetic condition. Just think, if 87% of the journals, that too ISSN journals, are fake, what is the status of education in our country? So all this happens, people who promote language across curriculum believe that all such events occur just because people are not able to make use the language, especially English language, in a better manner. If students are not able to communicate, if students are not able to write assignments in their own words, if students are not able to indulge in self-study, if students are not able to get admitted in foreign universities, though they have got some capacity, if students are not able to get appointed in a better company, though they have got some skills, because of the deficiency of their language, even after learning a particular language for more than 10 or 12 years, then there must be something fault in the case of the strategy which we have been using for a number of years. So language across curriculum should be the strategy for teaching any language. So this is something about the significance of language across curriculum if you look at the status of the students at present. So I think we have got only 20 more minutes. So we have to start the status of the teachers, the condition of the teachers, the linguistic ability of the teachers of the present society. So I feel that we can discuss that one in the next class. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think you are able to follow me even if I am talking in English language, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. And if anyone of you feel that, if any one of you feel that I should give some explanation in Malayalam too, even when I am dealing some topics in language across curriculum, you can ask me, okay? There is no problem. If I need, if I should explain some items, some aspects in Malayalam, then you can just ask me. If you are not ready to request this one in our group, you can just send me a private message. So please explain an aspect of the curriculum in Malayalam. I will be doing so. Okay, I haven't got any problem. Okay. Yes, you can do so. So I just stop recording this one. then I have to give you some information. Okay, that it is not related with this language approach curriculum because some of you have asked something to me. So please, I just stop the sharing.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So I just stop recording this one.